Did you know 60% of a salon's average revenue is some sort of blonding service? Did you also know that within the Schwarzkopf Professional portfolio, Blondme is our second biggest brand next to Agora Royal, which is our main staple permanent hair color. But it's our second biggest brand, and it is that because it's very niche. It is our entire system truly dedicated to the specific needs of blondes. And then last up, did you know that the crown jewel in our Blondme assortment is our Blondme Bond Enforcing Premium Lightener 9+. It's like, you see it everywhere on socials. It's the most popular lightener we have in our portfolio, and it's super efficient, and we're gonna talk about why. My name is Ian, and I'm our Senior National Trainer for Schwarzkopf Professional USA. I really wanna cover, Blondme is able to meet all of your needs for blondes in the salon. Depending on the service or the technique that you're using, we've got something to address every need. What's cool about Blondme is that we've kind of added some new technology to make it more efficient for you in the salon. For example, we now have our anti-metal bond technology. What does that mean? Metals in your hair come from, mainly, the pipes that your water flows through. So think of it this way. A lot of houses are made with copper pipes or stainless steel or iron pipes. Little minerals of that, as your water flows through the pipes, goes through your sink, or your faucet in your sink, or the shower head in your shower, those end up in or on your hair. And metals that come from the water like to interact or fight with a lightener or a lifting cream or anything like that, and reactions can happen. So we'll talk about that too. So metals in the hair, not good. But as well, we have integrated bonding technology into the products. Anything that will lift will have bonding technology in it. What does that mean? You don't need to add anything at all into the lightener or any of the lifting colors that we have in the assortment because it's already integrated. Basically, you don't have to buy anything new, you don't have to intermix anything, you don't have to worry about your levels of lift being compromised. We have already integrated it or incorporated it where it's needed in the portfolio for you. So that's a little bit about the technology, why we have the anti-metal, why is it there, the bonding technology, why is that there, the fact that you don't need to intermix anything at all. So I think what we should do now is talk about what we've got in the assortment, what it is, who it's gonna help, who is this client, and you'll be able to walk away after this YouTube video being able to use anything in Blondme today. In addition to that great technology, we wanted to think about how we could be eco-conscious with our packaging in Blondme. Fun fact, the metal that this tube is made of is 100% recycled aluminum. The plastic that this cap is made from is 100% recycled plastic. And for sure, last up, the box material is 93% recycled cardboard. So those things considered are great in terms of being eco-conscious, but there's one more. All of the tubes that you see have a vegan-approved formula, so no animal testing or animal-derived ingredients. Let's talk about what we've got in the entire assortment. We're gonna kind of cover what it is, how you use it, who is this client for, and how is it going to help you. First up, we're gonna start with our lighteners. So as you can see on the screen, we have 3 different lighteners. First up, we're gonna talk about our Blondme Bond Enforcing Premium Lightener 9+. This is essentially the crown jewel of the lighteners that we have in our Blondme portfolio. It's been around the longest, it's the most efficient. But to kind of sum it up, it is a lightener that will give us up to 9 levels of lift. You can use it on or off scalp. I find personally, as a colorist behind the chair, I prefer our lower developers with the lightener. We are going to talk about the developers, but just quickly to mention, I prefer our Blondme 9+ with a 7 volume or a 20 volume. I like the lower developers because it is an efficient lightener. It does give us up to 9 levels of lift. So if you have a client in your chair that really needs, I need work, I have to lift a significant amount of levels, I adore the Blondme 9+ because it's going to get me there. But fun fact, it's going to get me there with 7 volume or with 20 or 30 volume. You don't need anything more. We would never recommend to mix our Blondme 9+ with 40 volume. It would be like putting jet fuel in your leaf blower or your lawnmower. It's just, you're gonna get there. You don't need all that. So we definitely prefer our 9 Plus with a lower volume developer. Remember, low and slow wins the race. Next up, we've got our Precision Lightener. This lightener we created to be exactly that, precise. Any lightener that anybody uses in the world could tend to have a little bit of swelling. That just depends what's on or in the hair in terms of minerals or metals. But all of our lighteners that we're talking about have the anti-metal bond protection technology. Specifically, the Precision Lightener has more of that to cause potentially less swelling. When would I use the Precision Lightener? I think the perfect application is when I'm doing bleach and tone retouches. Client comes in, they have 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks of regrowth, and I really want to be precise about how I apply that lightener and where I put it, and that it doesn't swell and overlap, causing banding or breakage. So it is ideal for on-scalp lightening with either 7 volume, 20 volume on scalp, or if for some reason you wanted to use it off scalp, you could incorporate a 30 volume. Again, 40 volume just not needed. Last up, we have our clay lightener. This lightener is specifically formulated to have a consistency that would be best for like hand painting off the scalp. It does have soft to solid technology, basically meaning I put it on and then the soft to solid, as it hits the air, it turns into a solid shell on the outside. So when you're dropping your next section of hair, it won't stick to that lightener and you don't get transfer. It's beautiful lightener for freehand painting. It is that soft to solid formula. You could mix this with like a 20 or a 30 volume. This is where one lightener that we do have where we could recommend that you do use 40 volume. It is open air, it's not in a foil. It's great for those freehand techniques that are super popular right now and that everybody is doing. So right there, we've got 3 different lighteners that serve 3 different purposes. We've got everything that you could possibly need, whatever your technique is. So if you want, you can pause the video right now and take a look at the chart if you need any specific notes. Now, I want to talk about something very cool. We've never had it before in the United States, and it's going to blow your mind. Typically, you would lighten a client with a lightener, depending on which one you've chosen from the assortment, and you lift and you lift and you lift, you get to where you need to be. And then you have to use a toner. It's normal, we all do it. We use them to create like these super soft, delicate blonde tones that everybody wants. But what if I told you I've got something that you put into your lightener mixture that will tone for you as you lift? This is our Blondme Bleach and Tone. It is a very specific tube of color that is designed with special pigments that survive or can live in a lightener environment and also deposit tone on the hair as I'm lifting. How do I mix it? Take a look at the mixing chart on the screen. You don't need a lot of it, and we give you options for softer toning or more toning as you're lifting. It comes in 3 shades: violet, which is going to be my anti-yellow, ash, which is going to be my anti-orange, and then matte, which is going to be my anti-red. So think about how this can help you. You have a client that comes in, he or she's like a level 3. I want to get them up to like that nice level 7 or 8 kind of toffee or khaki kind of a blonde tone. All I would have to do, starting at that deep of a level, and provided the mixing ratio as you can see on the screen, is to add a little bit of that matte bleach and tone right into the lightener, into the exact same bowl that your lightener is, mix it up, go about your technique. As your lightener is lifting, whether it's open air or in foil, it's also toning for you at the same time. Now, it's there to help. It's never going to be a perfect answer. If you still need to use a toner, we're going to talk about our pastel and deep toners soon, but it's a great way to get you started in the tone direction that you're looking for. Such a phenomenal new product. The other cool thing to think about when you're talking about bleach and tone, I mean, these are all cool colors. Cool colors absorb light. And what I mean is, when you add cool colors to anything, it could potentially like sink the perceptive level of lift, right? This will not affect how many levels of lift you're getting, whether you're using our Blondme 9 Plus, our Precision Lightener, or the clay. And you can mix it with any of the lighteners we've got in the Blondme portfolio. Thus far, we've talked about our lighteners that we've got. We've talked about our bleach and tone that you can mix into the lighteners to help you get into the right tone direction. But let's say you get there, you pull the foils, you rinse the balayage, and you're like, I need a little bit more, or I want to get a little fun and creative. Within the Blondme portfolio, we have our pastel toners and our deep toners. So there are two different families of toners. Let's start with our pastel toners. These come in a tube, and you can see here on the front of the box, it's labeled with a T. This means that they're a toner. And then the name of the toner is also on the box. So for example, here we've got steel blue. You can also notice under that steel blue, and if you can't see it on the tube, you can see it on the screen. It tells you what ideal levels that toner is for. Typically, our pastel toners are going to be best for levels 8 and above. They are pastel, they are lighter. So they're not really going to do anything for you on darker levels. But they come in 8 different colors, anywhere from like neutralizing, like ice or sand, all the way into things that are creative, like lilac and strawberry. These you'll leave on anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes. You typically mix them 1-to-1 with our Blondme Premium Developer 7 volume or 2%. And they give you like these beautiful kind of glossy, glassy, delicate pastel tones, ranging from everything that's like icy neutral to super lilac and kind of violety. They're stunning, and they're such a great addition to our Blondme process as we're working along the portfolio. Now, what's really popular is like shadow rooting or low lighting or techniques that involve depth. We incorporated these deep toners. I know, the range is called Blondme. Why do we have deeper colors? Because if I'm looking to create a shadow root or a low light or something on the deeper side of things, I'm gonna need something like a deep toner. You can see here on the box, it says DT, deep toner. The shade name is there as well, and it also gives you the ideal bases that this deep toner is going to be great for. One of my favorite techniques I love to do in terms of toning, if you have a client that you're going to do a shadow root on and you want to make them like super light and kind of icy, what I do is apply Blondme Toning Ice from root to tip, and that would be Blondme Toning Ice equal parts with your 7 volume, and I would put that from root to tip. While that color is on, right over top of it, you could pick any deep toner you want, chestnut, granite, any of the deeper ones, and go ahead and apply that just to the root and kind of comb it through. The ice is already there, so it's kind of diluting the deep toner. But the deep toner is gonna bring down the ice toner, and you get like this soft, super subtle shadow root that's kind of perfectly blended into the ends. It's a beautiful technique, and I think that you should try it. You're gonna love the end results. So you can see on the screen, we've got this beautiful toner chart that will show you the ideal levels that either the pastel or the deep toners are for. They're beautiful colors, and they're super useful to give you that nice, finished, polished blonde look. It's like, would you bake a cake and not ice it? Yeah, maybe, but that's kind of boring. So we have these toners in place to make your blondes feel special and vivacious. As we said in the beginning, Blondme is like this whole system that's designed to give you whatever you could possibly need for any blonde client that comes in the front door of your salon. We're gonna talk about now our Blondme lifting creams. The Blondme lifting creams are the high lifts that live in the Blondme family. For example, if you're an existing Schwarzkopf Professional salon and you have high lifts that belong to our Agora Royal family, those exist, but they're different tones altogether. They're still a high lift, but they're going to give you something a little bit different. But if you're a salon that doesn't carry anything from Schwarzkopf Professional and you need a high lift for that client, these are going to be it. So you can see on the top of the box, these are indicated by an L, lifting cream. When would I use our special lifting creams within Blondme? Well, if you have a client who is a natural virgin level 6 or lighter, these are going to work for you. Unfortunately, they will not lift color treated hair, but that's okay. That's what we have our lighteners for. So natural level 6 or lighter, and you can get as creative as you want. You could use this as an all-over color for somebody looking to be all-over blonde. But my favorite way to use the lifting creams is in a foil, when you have maybe one foil is your lightener, the next foil is your lifting cream, and then the next foil might be your low light, for that multi-dimensional highlighted look. In addition to that, because we're getting significant lift here, up to 5 levels of lift on your natural level 6 or lighter, they do contain the anti-metal bond protection technology. Remember, metals that are in your hair, minerals that are in your hair, they do tend to react with products that give me a lot of lift, a lightener, a lifting cream. So here, we've added the anti-metal bond protection technology. All right, next up, clients who have salt and pepper hair. We do have a product specific for them if they're looking to be blonde. This product is called our Blondme Lift and Blend, and it does exactly that. You can see on the front of the box, it's indicated by an LB, Lift and Blend. Just like a lifting cream or a high lift, the lift and blends are specifically designed for clients who have a mixture of salt and pepper. Here's what happens. The lift and blends within the Blondme range are designed to lift the pepper up to 4 levels and deposit a little bit of tone onto the salt, but you stay here. It's like this kind of effervescent, bubbly, kind of a nice blonde. Not like that shoe polish over-deposited blonde that you occasionally see out in the world. It's a beautiful blonde for clients who do have gray hair. It comes in several different shades, and you'll get up to 100% perceivable blending when all is said and done, when you're lifting the pepper up to 4 levels and depositing some tone on the salt. And once again, this is a product that does give us up to 4 levels of lift. So we also have here the anti-metal bond protection technology to make sure that everything stays safe as you're lifting all the way up. All right, as we said in the beginning, about 60% of an average salon's revenue is some sort of blonding service. I think we can all agree that blondes of any shade are a tad high maintenance if you're not naturally blonde yourself. With that being said, do you have any clients that maybe come for highlights every 6 to 8 weeks, and then maybe they wait a little bit longer, or they had like a trip and they couldn't get in, and we need some sort of like in-between fix? We're really excited that within the Blondme lineup, we have something called base breakers. These are our Blondme base breakers. And what is a base breaker? A base breaker is a tool that you can use to exactly that, softly break the base. So let me give you a visual. A client comes in with about 6 weeks of highlight regrowth. And this client is a natural level 6. And you can see that regrowth in amongst the highlights. So you'll mix the Blondme base breaker with either our Blondme Premium 7 volume or our Blondme Premium 20 volume. 20 volume if you want a little bit more of a bump, 7 volume if you just want to break that base just a little bit. What you'll do is you'll apply it to the regrowth area of that client that's coming in with that 6 to 8 weeks worth of regrowth. And what the Blondme base breaker does is it just slightly breaks the base. People call it bump the base, shift the base, whatever terminology you're using. I'm just taking the slightest bit of coldness or mousiness off of that harsh level 6 and just breaking it or bumping it up in the right direction. What this does is it softens the contrast between your level 6, kind of dark appearing. I mean, next to highlights, a level 6 looks dark because the highlights are so light. So it just kind of breaks it or bumps it in an upward direction so that the contrast isn't so severe. But the beautiful thing about the Blondme base breakers, they come in 3 different shades. This one happens to be extra cool, which is the most cooling. We have extra cool, regular cool, and soft cool for clients who are on the lighter side of things. And they're beautiful to kind of get your client by in between salon visits or in between highlight appointments. Doesn't stop there. I actually like to use the Blondme base breakers on myself. Why? I am over 40 years old, and my natural hair is getting mousier as I get older. And I like when there's just a soft, minute shimmer of warmth in my hair, just so that it's not that cold, mousy, flat, boring, natural color for me. So I use the Blondme Base Breaker Cool, mixed equal parts with our Blondme Premium Developer 6% 20 volume. I put it all over my hair. I leave it about 8-9 minutes, and it just softens the mousiness off my hair, and I don't have to bleach my hair. I don't have to color my hair. It's super low maintenance, and it makes me feel better about my natural color. So they're a beautiful base break and tone all at the same time. It's like planting 2 trees with 1 seed. They're phenomenal. Give them a try. So we've carefully formulated all of the Blondme system, all of the tubes that we've talked about, and the lighteners to be mixed with our Blondme Premium Developers. These come in a 7 volume, 20 volume, 30 volume, and 40 volume. Thus far, we've talked about which developer you should use depending on which tube that you're picking up or which lightener that you're using. They are formulated with a paraffin oil to make sure that as I'm lifting, the paraffin oil wraps around the strand of hair and traps the moisture in as you're lifting. So they're a beautiful complement to everything that we've talked about in the Blondme lineup to make sure that we're giving you not only the efficient lift that you need, but the care that you need alongside that. All right, we have covered everything that you could possibly need for a color service within Blondme. But this client is spending upwards of hundreds of dollars probably, if not more. We want to make sure that they're taking home what they need to protect this investment. So as Blondme being a complete system that it is, we have care that you can use in salon and for them to take home. So as you can see on the chart on the screen, we have several ranges within the Blondme Care family. We're going to discuss what each range does and maybe who it's best for in the salon. And if you're looking for more ingredient-specific information, you can visit our e-academy or the www.schwarzkopf-professionalusa.com. There's a lot of talk about bonding in the beauty industry right now. And as we discussed earlier, within the Blondme colors, we give you all the protection that you need to make sure that you're not breaking bonds as you're lifting. But what about the care that your clients will need to take home with them to protect that investment? All of the Blondme Care family has a 3D bond technology already built in. What does that mean? It's actually called a trivalent ion or lanthanum ion. And basically what that does is it goes into the inside of the hair and kind of in a 3D network, it starts to connect the broken bonds within that 3D network, making the inside of the hair strand much stronger. And as we know, strong, healthy hair won't break, but also will hopefully hold on to that toner just a little bit longer. So all of the Blondme Care range has that 3D bond technology, and that addresses the inside of the hair structure. But we have several ranges. Let's first talk about the light range. The light range specifically has a mulberry silk protein complex, and that helps to nourish the hair in a very light and delicate way. I would say the best way to describe the light range is that there's just enough care to make sure that that fine blonde hair is nourished and cared for, but also not weighed down. For example, our spray leave-in conditioner, super lightweight, and you can see that mist. It's crazy fine. It's not greasy, it'll help to provide shine, but it's super lightweight, hence the light range. Next up, we have our rich range. This is going to be for clients that have thick, coarse, dense hair and need a little bit more care with our cashmere protein complex. So we have, as you can see here, a back bar size as well as OTC or over the counter or the size that your clients take home. But the rich range is just going to give a little bit of extra care for the clients who maybe have taken that extra step in the lifting process or just have a lot of hair that needs a lot of rich care. Now, I think most of us can agree in blonde's past and in blonde's future, blondes can tend to get a little dull just because they are essentially a blank canvas. This dullness can come from like pollution in the air, literal dust, product buildup, maybe even like too much purple shampoo. We know who she is. So we have a detox range that's going to help us pull the impurities from the surface of the hair. This one has a Nordic cotton protein complex. So as you're picking up here, each range has something specific to the needs for that client. So the detox range is beautiful because I could use this maybe before a color service to complement my anti-metal bond protection technology. Why? Because the detox range is at least going to help me kind of remove those surface impurities on the surface of that strand of hair. So the detox range is both good for keeping blondes bright or as a pre-service treatment to make sure that everything's going the right way. The perfect partner to the Blondme Detox shampoo would be our Blondme Detox treatment. So this is the All Blondes Detox Mask. It is partnered with our Blondme Vitamin C shots. How does it work? I would take 25 grams of my Blondme Detox Mask, and then each sachet is 5 grams. You mix these two together in a bowl, and you would pull that onto the hair strands all the way through, comb it through, And that stays on for about 10 to 15 minutes, and that is the detox treatment that's going to help prepare your blondes and help to remove those surface impurities for an awesome service. Now, the detox treatment can be split up in two ways, let's say. The professional version is providing that detox service in salon with the sachet packets and the mask. But what if I have a client who does tend to use a little purple shampoo too much, or is going on vacation and will be in a chlorinated pool? These come in retail sizes so that you can retail that to the customers for them to take on their own and maintain that bright blonde result all on their own. So speaking of purple shampoos, we have a neutralizing range. This range's technology is a velvet flower protein complex. It's going to be really great for those blondes that tend to see maybe brassiness or yellow and like to maintain that tone at home themselves. So the neutralizing range comes in a shampoo, a mask, or a treatment that they can use. But I think one of my favorite things in the range is our Blondme Cool Blondes Spray Leave-In Conditioner. If you look really close, it does have a purple color, and as we know on the color wheel, purple is what tends to cancel out the yellow. But fun little tip here, fun little trick, you want to shake up this purple spray leave-in conditioner because you can see there's like little teeny tiny nano microparticle silver specks in here. So it looks kind of dark. I just want to show you on like a white Kleenex that the neutralization, it's not crazy intense. It's not nearly as dark as the liquid in the bottle would lead you to believe. So it is a very light neutralization. You don't really have to worry so much about overutilizing the Light Cool Blonde Spray Leave-In Conditioner. And then last up, this last category, it's called Blonde Wonders. Blondes have a lot of wonders sometimes. So within this, we have our Glaze Mist for blondes that tend to maybe feel a little bit on the dull side. This will help to shine them up, but also protect against those external impurities like pollution and dust and things that tend to make blondes dull to begin with. One of my favorite products within the range is this. We've got the Blondme Dry Shampoo Foam. And what this does is it helps to absorb all of a day's, 2 days, 3 days worth of natural oils that would occur. The reason I think the Blondme Dry Shampoo Foam is so important is that blondes are going to want to potentially shampoo and put their hair through the stress of being wet and blow dried as often as they can. So a dry shampoo right at the regrowth is not only going to help to absorb that oil, but it does tend to give a little bit of volume, which most people like. So you want to shake this one up and put it right into your hands like this. And as you can see, it's a foam. So you'll work it between your fingers and work it into the roots of your hair, just like that. You could blow dry it, comb it in, whatever you need, and it will help to absorb the oil and gives a little bit of volume. So that's a super plus. Second to last up, we have our Blonde Wonders Restoring Balm. This is a phenomenal product if you're a blonde or myself and you have highlighted hair and you don't like to get haircuts because you want to keep the length. Think of this one as almost like a chapstick for the ends of your hair. It's going to help protect any sort of breakage or split ends that might be occurring and just kind of help to seal them up, and it makes the hair feel super soft as well, which is a pure plus. It's a pure bonus. And then last up, this guy right here is our Blondme Golden Mask. It is an in-salon professional service that you can provide your blondes. It is kind of this golden shimmery color, as you can see here. And this is more of a treatment that you would do in salon. It does look gold, but it doesn't turn light blonde hair gold. So just to be clear, for those of you watching who have super blondes or blondes who are very icy, very cool, you can still use the Blondme Blonde Wonders Golden Mask on those clients. And basically what it does is it gives the surface of that blonde hair a temporary shimmer until the next time they shampoo, which is going to make the blondes look illuminated. So that is our Blondme Blonde Wonders Golden Mask. And this is an opportunity for a colorist or a stylist to do an add-on ticket in the salon, but also provide your clients some nice shimmer if they're doing like a night out or a weekend away. We hope that we've given you all the information that you need to start using Blondme behind the chair today. We've covered the anti-metal bond protection technology and that it exists in all the things that are going to give us lift within the Blondme range. We've discussed the 3 lighteners, when they'd be best used, who the ideal client is for, and why there are the 3 different ones. We've covered all of the different tubes that we have to provide any possible blonde service to your clients. And then to perfectly complement that, we have this beautiful care range that you can use both on the pro side as a treatment or an increased ticket for services in salon, but as well the retail size to take home for clients, all in their very specific respective ranges, whether it's light, rich, detox, neutralizing, or those wonderful blonde wonders. So thank you for joining us today. Check out our other videos on YouTube if you're looking for more advanced education. And of course, you can log on to our eAcademy for self-guided, self-studying, gamified education. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.